Okay, turn 6. And I guess I should have mentioned this last turn. If this were a campaign game, I would be looking to get these guys out of here and preserve whatever forces are left. But since this isn't a campaign game, and turn 6, they would automatically get reinforcements. There's 4 reinforcements left, 1 peasant unit, 2 levies, and an armored foot. So they're all coming in this turn. So we're going to find out where they're coming in. 1 levy, 4 coming in here. 2nd levy, 3. They're coming in here. We're going to get a log jam here. The armored foot, 2. They're coming in here. And then finally the other peasant unit, 2. So they're coming in here as well. So log jams all around, especially if this group cannot activate to move. So what we're going to do here is movement. The peasants need to roll 7s to move. So can they move? Yes. Can they move? Yes. Can they move? Yes. Can they move? Yes. Can they move? Yes, barely. Can they move? Yes. So all the peasants can move. So this peasant group is going to right face, which will be half their move, and then climb this hill. And this group is going to do the same. They're going to left face and move. That's their right. My left, their right, and that's same there because they're facing opposite me. These groups will continue to try to move up to get into range. They really want to try to target these guys. These archers, they're going to split fire again on these 2 targets. The heavy cavalry is going to charge. And the light cavalry is going to countercharge. And I think there's just enough room. I haven't been exactly precise with my measurements. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they've got enough room. There's not enough room for the cardboard, but I think there's enough room for the men. And then this group will move up. This group they will left face and try to move in behind these guys. So let's see, to be a little more specific, they're going to go out a little more this way. And this group in the middle will probably, actually we'll have them left face and try to come in this direction. So they're all going to be trying to ease out this direction. So they're probably going to have to wheel a little and then move. So let's do half moves here. Here we go. Alright, so it's going to take 2, so it's going to take 4 of their move to get straightened out again. And then they can go another 5, which would be 2.5. So to there. And same thing here. So all these groups are using half a move to change facing. These 3 groups. And let's see, the distance between these is 17. Their charge is 18, their charge is 30. So half would be 9, half would be 15. So we're going to say they're going to meet at about 8 inches from the front of where this group is right here. Ooh, they've got to avoid that hill. All right. So they're going to have to wheel. So let's see here. How far will they have to wheel? They'll have to wheel. So they're going to use 7 of their move there. So then 2 more will get them to here. That's half their charge. And this group is going to be, they're going to get to, 8 will get them to here. At which point they will have to wheel. And yes, I'm not being exactly precise, but I'm not going to be. Part of the problem is the way I've set this up, but actually, so no, they can't make it through there. I thought they could, but I thought it was just a cardboard, but it's more than the cardboard. There are troops in their way. So we'll plop them back down here. Let's see if they wheel. Nope, again, that's not going to work because they're stuck between 2 formations. So they're just stuck. They cannot move until this group finishes their movement. So they may be in trouble. Well, let's see if they have to wheel another 5 inches and then to get straight and then move forward. That's going to end them right here. But half their charge move will get them there. So if these guys successfully move out of the way, then their charge, so there will be contact. So the charges will be verified or rectified. So now let's do some pass-through fire. They're firing 10 against them, so they take 3 more casualties. That's still not, well, that's exactly 25%, so they're going to make a morale check. They're going to take 2 casualties there. Well, wait, they had 2 groups of 6, so they should have taken 4 last time. They should take 4 this time. So that's going to give them also having to take a morale check. So both of these groups will have to make instability morale checks. Let's go ahead and move these guys as far up as they can go. Well, let's see. They would be 12 on the road, so they can move up to 6. So that'll put them there. We'll have to bring the last group we'll say the peasants got here first, so they're going to move on to the battlefield, and we'll have a group of levies behind them, well, waiting in this log jam between these 2 hills. And then on this other side, we have a group of levies move in. Move in 6. And then a group of armored foot piling in behind them. All right, so second movement. Four and a half to there. And this group is going to move as far as they can. Well, let's see. We need to do their instability checks. All right, instability checks. Eight or better. For them, nope. For them, nope. So both those units are removed. Not a really good result, but it did clear the battlefield a little bit. Let's see, we'll go ahead and add these since they moved. They moved. They moved. They moved. They turned. Let's see, they'll go up the hill here. I guess I should measure that, because they're not going to get very far. Well, somehow I lost that ruler. You wouldn't think it would have gone that far. All right, so they can go 4.5 from there to there. Well, I'll hit it almost exactly right on the head. Wow. Okay. So we add one to there. And in this group, which when I finish them up, I'll bring them in after the charge here. They're remaining 9. So they're going to take 5 to square up. Well, 4, not quite 4 to square up. So they've got, give them a couple more and give them their full charge. And they'll be a little left to right, but they're going to slam into each other about there. Okay, so they moved. This group, once I get them squared away, they will have moved. This group is moving behind. There'll be 2.5 to there, and then another 4 doubled. That would be 8. So 10.5. That's well within their movement. Actually, let's have them wheel. See how far they have to wheel here. Because they may have to go in behind these guys. So they moved about 4 inches. And then they can essentially be right on their tail. But pull back a little so they can have some charge room. So I add that in. They get their other 6 for being on the road. They get their other 6 for being on the road. And I still don't think there's going to be enough room for that. Alright, so then this group moves in behind them. And then the armored foot moves in behind them. And 6 inches, 6 centimeters in this case. And we'll get them dressed up in a little bit. got a lot of moving going on here. Alright, so regular missile fire. None of these guys are in a position to fire anything, I don't think. Let's see, are they within 18? So they can get off a shot with probably the front two ranks on the top of the hill. We'll say they're just below the crest. They get two. Once they get over to the other side of the hill, they could all fire if they can activate. So now, attempting to fire on Lightfoot, they only need a 6. And when they got it, boy, that would have been good for the heavy cavalry. Look at that. And they're going to need a 5 or 6 to hit. And we're firing 12 shots. So I'll do 2 groups of 6. And the bowmen, they'll be firing back. If they can all fire at the hill. They see the guys climbing the hill and say, no, that's where we want to be. Yeah, they all are within range of that hill. So, and that's direct fire, not arcing fire, because they're not having to shoot over their own guys. Alright, so the arquebusiers. Only 1 measly hit out of those 6. And only 1 measly hit out of those 6. Should have been double that. So they're going to take 2 casualties. And now the bowmen will fire back with much greater effect. So they've got 24. The biggest group they can have is 10. This will be against unarmed opponents. So they're going to have to divide into 3 groups of 8. So they will getting on a 1 or 2, 3 casualties for each group. On a 3 or 4, 4 casualties. So 4, 8, 11 casualties. So that is devastating longbow fire. So one of those will stay from that last group. Alright. So they're going to have to do an instability check. We'll just go ahead and do that now. They need an 8. Or better. On 7, they're gone. So that's a poof unit. Well, y'all had the potential to do some damage, but you didn't. Well, you did some, but you didn't do as much as you should have. Can you imagine if they had done some real fire and both units had failed morale checks? Alright, so that group, they are not down to 25%, so they don't have to make a check. So does this group have the potential to shoot if they can activate? 12 to 18. Yes, their front ranks can fire. So they have another opportunity here, and they need to roll a 6 to fire. They roll 7, so they do. On a 5 or 6, they do damage. And that's at least average there, so that's 2. And that's a little above average, so that's 5. So they do 5 damage. So I may have spoken too soon. So that's 7 out of 24. That's more than 25%. And so Lightfoot, yep, so they need an 8 or better, the archers, to stay on the field. 7, they're gone. All right, pull all this off. And mark these guys as having the front ranks having fired. So that leaves us with our melee here, and these guys are not. Using all these dice seemed very neat on paper. Alright, so combat tables. Let's see here. Light horse versus heavy horse. 1 die per 3 men. Kill on a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 dice. Killing on a 6. No kills. Heavy horse versus light horse. 2 dice per man. 5 or 6 kills. I may have gotten that wrong in the last melee. I'll have to go back and look. So 24. Holy moly. Alright, let me get... We're going to have to renegotiate this here. Let's get a dice tray so we don't go knocking over units like we've been doing. Alright, so I've got 12 here, so that's half. 5s and 6s kill. 1 kill, 2 kills, 3 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills. So that's 5 kills. And then one more round of dice, we'll add that to 5. Ooh-wee. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 kills. So they basically annihilated the entire front line of that group. And before I remove anything, they have to do an instability check. And their instability check is light horse is 8 or better. So we need an 8 or better. And this has not been going anybody's way here. So they're gone. So that's a poof on them. So that's going to be another melee on these guys. These guys are gone. And they've got about an inch left on their charge, so they're not going to come into contact with anybody else. And the worm appears to have turned 1 centimeter. I keep saying inches. Alright, turn 7. So there's not going to be any reinforcements here. One thing I didn't do last turn when the 2 cavalry charged each other, I should have checked their morale for being charged by cavalry. I didn't do that, and I'm not going to retcon that because, I mean, it was a disaster. It was a disaster for the light cavalry, and they were the ones most likely to fail that. So, and they didn't do any damage to them. So, the only effect that would have had would have been maybe taking off a melee token. So now, this group is going to they cannot charge this turn because they charged last turn. They can charge, they will charge. So they're going to charge them. And they're going to be moving in their direction. They'll be moving to engage. This group is going to try to climb the hill. This group is going to right face and fire. And these groups are going to continue to sweep around. This group is going to move behind. And this group is going to move up with an eye towards essentially turning so they can face the enemy. And then these other two will move up. So the only chance of fire is here. Since they're moving the first half of the move, they'll only get to fire once. So this move is going to be well within their move, so I'm not going to bother measuring. I'm just going to turn them and they're going to turn and adjust and charge. Bam. So let's go ahead and let's do those checks now that we didn't do last time. Each group charging into the other group. And I'm doing it mainly because if these guys fail for some reason, that kind of clears the board for these other guys to move however they want to move. So, all right, so heavy horse being charged by light horse just need a 3 or better. So anything but a 2. Easy peasy. All right, light horse being charged by heavy horse need a 7 or better. And they made it. So that charge is taking place. All right. All these groups need 7 to move. 7, yes. 7, no. 7, yes. 7, no. So they can move and they can move. So half their move is turning in this direction, and then they'll move on to the whole next turn. This group, they can move up to 4.5. Just gonna go ahead and move them their whole movement because we know what's happening here. These guys can't move, so their turrets will come off. That'll come off. They can't fire this turn because they're facing the wrong way, so that'll come off. And we'll go ahead and do their. They would get 4.5. They'll be about a ½ inch to get on the hill, and then they will only be able to go onto the hill about 2. So call it here. They're on this slope, and they will get an additional token for movement. So they are up to 4. And we'll go ahead and replace that one with this one so they stack a little better. And we'll go ahead and add tokens to these guys since they moved. Although, depending on how that melee goes, it may not matter for that one, for that light cavalry. All right. And this group, they're on the road. They can move. See, if they get off the road, they can move 9. So actually, what we'll do is we'll just have them do a full change. So they'll go to line, and this group will also go to line. So they're getting ready for battle. This group will move up 4, and then they will wheel around as much as they can. It's going to put them into the field, so that will cut them 5, 2.5. There. They're turning. No, wait, they are in column, so they're facing that way. So let's just have them keep going. They will slide. They get a total of 12. So they will slide right into there. This just may be successive waves here. So add down to that. And this group, they move 6. So they get, I believe they get 9 on the road. Armored foot. Nope, they don't get a road bonus. So they're just moving 6. that is all the movement. So all we got left to do is our melee. We know how this goes. Four dice for the light foot. Looking for sixes. 4 6s. What are the chances of that happening? Make sure I caught that on camera. Yes, I did. Wow. Okay. So these guys take 4 hits. Still not 25%, and I don't think they make their check at 25%, so it doesn't really matter. And then these guys, that front 12 get 24, 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3. So that's better than the first roll last time. 4, 5, 6. So they hit 6 of these guys, and that is enough for an instability check. So here we go again. 8 or better. All these have been failure for the last couple turns. And this one is too, so that unit is gone. They were not charging, so they do not finish out any kind of move. But that is their third melee. So they are fatigued.